There's our rod. Oh God, it's falling. Oh, you. I have not a damn clue where any of this goes. Yes! Oh my God. You wanna take it for a ride? I know what everyone's thinking. What is a post-2000 BMW doing on Josh's channel? Have I gone crazy? And the answer is yes. So this is my 2011 328i E93 convertible. We have an engine on the floor, we have it on the lift. You can only imagine what we're going to do here. So this car was actually bought for my mother slash sister. I was feeling generous, and a family friend, neighbor, had this in their driveway with a for sale sign. He said, it's been sitting here for a while, it's super cheap, come get it. I said, yeah, you know what, I'll come get it. So, because I figured convertibles in the summer are always fun. The guy said there was some problems with it. Said it was a head gasket. What I asked him about the head gasket didn't make sense. Come to find out, it was probably the valve cover gasket because it was smoking when I first drove it. Well, anyway, long story short, I didn't really look at the car before I bought it. I ran it for 20 seconds, brought it home. All my buddies came over. We were messing around with it. And I fired up, and Eustace goes, this thing's knocking. And I'm like, no. And he's like, rev it. So I rev it, and I think I have a clip of it. Sure as hell, that was knocking. But I posted on Instagram, and a lot of people said that doesn't sound like it. You know, N53s or N52s are super reliable. That's kind of weird, right? So I said, all right, maybe you're right. So I dug into it. I didn't film it because basically pulling the oil filter told me everything I needed to know. I'll post a picture or a video, metal flakes everywhere. And if you guys know me, you know that I'm not gonna let one of these cars take the easy way out. So I went ahead and sent her out with a bang, meaning knowing it had rod knock, I took it out with one of my buddies and we beat the absolute hell out of it until either the engine blew a rod, the engine seized, or all of the above. And as you can see by this right here, we didn't have an engine that seized. We had an engine that ejected a rod. I have, I think, a clip of the aftermath, or actually when it was about to happen. Uh-oh. It's going, it's failing.
There is a check. That's new.
Oh yeah, we got it bad. We blew it up. We blew it up.
A few moments later.
And eventually we shot a rod, and I fished out half of the rod snapped in half, ejected out of the oil pan, of course, so it was an absolute mess. Oil dripping down the entire street. It was a disaster. But anyway, I showed it to my mom and my sister before all of this, because it was driving and it was all right, and they were super excited, and then catastrophe happened, and I kind of told them, I was like, I told them I'm gonna junk it, right? This is not worth it, whatever, I ruined the car. And my mom was actually really disappointed because she really wanted a convertible for the summer. She's always wanted one, but I always buy manual cars. So it was auto, and I'm not really gonna go into the details on the cars because who cares, but we are gonna do a quick little, hopefully 2 days, engine swap so that I could surprise my mom with this so she still has her summer convertible cruiser. So I want to be a nice son. So we're going to go ahead and do an engine swap really quick, and then by the end of the video, we will surprise her, showing that her car, as she calls it, is up and running. And then we'll give it to her, and yeah. But so to start, picked up an N52 parts engine off of a local guy who was down the street, got it for a good price. It was off an all-wheel drive, so we're going to have to swap over the oil pan. I got a new oil pan. Otherwise, we're going to dive into this thing, and we're going to just get going on it. Oh my God, it's raining block. Or I guess oil pan. This is actually pretty funny. So in our skid plate here, we have a bunch of dead cicadas. We have, looks like chunk of oil pan, oil pan, oil pan. Oh my God, carnage. The cicadas are really setting this off though. Just oil and dead cicadas and scattered parts. Oh, we got a lot of crap. Oh, there's our rod. Oh God, it's falling. Here's the other end of our rod. That's split in half. Oh, that's not good. That's our pickup tube. Ah, crap. I might need this from this engine. I don't know if it's gonna be the same or different on the all-wheel drive. That could be a major issue for me. But yeah, so there's where it ejected. You could see up in the pan. Oh, carnage in there. Holy crap. I hope these parts are the same on the other engine, otherwise I'm gonna have to buy all of this. But yeah, massive hole. Drain whatever excess oil is still in here. After all that, I doubt it's very much, but oh yeah. A lot of oil that stayed in here. That explains why when I was trailering this thing, oil everywhere. Ah, okay. I have to. Oh no, I gotta open the expansion tank. Okay, we made it up. Might be the cleanest coolant removal I've ever done in my life. Shouldn't have said that. We're gonna get this hood into service mode, which I'm hoping it has. Working on a car I've never touched in my life. Obviously the airboxes have come out. All this cowling has to come out. So what do we have? We got 8 mil. Okay, yeah, we got 8 mils. Oh! Oh, okay. Ah, BMW, smart. It slots in. How nice. Oh. Ah, not these plastic quick connect cooling hoses. I hate these. Okay. Booster vacuum. I'm gonna just take the intake boot off at the elbow here. Looks like maybe the easiest way to do it. Now we got access to the front fan. This has been replaced. I see a BMW sticker on it, very nice. I had to undo one of the coolers down there from the shroud, but now we should, emphasis on should, be able to get the shroud out. Oh, f you. I want the AC system to stay in the car. There's that support bar and this support bar. To take the belt off because we got to leave the power steering pump and the AC compressor. Belt looks good. I spent some time off camera getting the AC compressor off the engine. Absolute nightmare because you have the water pump thermostat and a million coolant hoses in the way. So I had to actually undo the thermostat off the water pump, and then I had to take the whole water pump out of the car because there's no way for it to work with the hoses and the AC compressor. Easier would have just been for me to take the AC compressor out, but I kept the refrigerant in it, so it's too late. I'm gonna work up top here and get this intake manifold off, free up some space, get to the top of these bell housing bolts, hopefully, because it's very hard from the bottom when you have the drive shaft and stuff in place. The one thing BMW did good on these cars is a manifold that comes off with the fuel rail and the injectors not having to. That is like the best thing ever right there. I appreciate it. One thing BMW didn't do good is all these connectors suck. There we go. Okay, so the PCV is out. Then what do we got here? We got another sensor down low. Every connector on this car sucks. I can't even, like, they are all the stupidest clip. What happened to, like, the good connectors. Like these are garbage. None of them are, my God, they just break. And there we go, power steering pump's off the engine. How do we open the E-box? Oh, little sliders, that's nice. Whew. Okay, we got a mess in here. So this is basically your engine, all your engine harness stuff. I think I'm gonna leave it on the engine. We'll leave this with the car, there's not that many. Oil level sensor, oh yeah, look at that. And then this stays with the car as well. This is transmission related, so we don't have to worry about that. Then the only harness we're worried about is the one that's for all this garbage. Okay, so it looks like all the harness stuff is staying with the car. I didn't think I was necessarily planning that. Harness is all disconnected out of the way. And now the next struggle is going to be pulling the manifolds off of the engine because they're too rusty at the downpipe. So we're just going to have to do it this way, and I bet this is going to really suck. All right, well, this is going to be too hard to film, too many swears, I'm sure. So I will see you guys in a bit once we got these headers off. That was as brutal as expected. We are done though. And now we're doing the torque converter bolts. So I got the breaker bar on the front of the engine, and then we got to do, I think, 6 17 mils back on the torque converter here. And we repeat. Oh, wait. I forgot the engine's seized. Oh shit, how do you do this then? Oh, we broke it free. I'm lucky. That just broke free. Oh, okay, there's the thing that was lodging the crank. Ah, it's the other side of our cap. So a lot of finagling. Took the motor mount arm off of that side. All the bell housing bolts are out. Basically did the last few things. Sorry I didn't film. I've been just trying to get this done. But it is time to yank this thing. I've never pulled an engine on a 4-post. I hope it's possible. So I'm thinking what we're gonna do is lift it up a little bit to clear the hoist, and then it should be kind of just like a car on jack stand, so it should be fairly easy. So I guess these N52s, you take your tow hook and it threads into this port in the front. I think that's how you do it. And then the rear is kind of a lot like all of its inline six predecessors, where you use that hole by the starter. There we go. Oh no. Torque converter, you were supposed to stay with. Uh-oh, we're going into the radiator. Oh, yep. And there goes the trans. Oh, there goes something. Something fell. I don't even know. All right, let's get this beast. Oh, uh-oh, we maxed it. I think she's ready to pull. Okay, now up a little more. Get a good look at our oil pan with a hole in it. It's out. Oh my God. The rod went straight through the baffle, straight through the pickup tube. If those are different on the all-wheel drive, then I'm gonna have to buy them. This is gonna prolong me. It literally ripped right through it. That is insane. There's actually kind of a lot that's different on this engine compared to the one that was in the car. And I heard this engine run, by the way. I don't think I mentioned it, but I went and picked this up close to home. It was still in the car. It's from an E60. That's why things are a little bit different. Like a 07, so it's a little bit older. And yeah, he was cool, and I got to you know, check it out, make sure it runs, and make sure it's good before I buy it, which is the best thing you could do, because I would be a little bit shaky on an engine like this, putting it in unseen, because I don't know them well, and given what the other one has shown me, they're not great. We'll remove all this, and then we're gonna see what the pickup looks like. It's gotta be different. I already know I'm gonna have to order it because it's ruined on the other engine. Stupid me. So that's the front diff. Yep, so it is different. So it kind of kicks more this way to clear the, or because the all-wheel drive system. So I need, damn, I'm not gonna be able to finish this then. That sucks. I'm gonna have to order this because obviously the rod blew through it on the parts motor. So check out this. I was wondering where the piston went. Well, the piston is in 1,000 pieces. You can see the wrist pin survived. We got some piston ring right here, and otherwise it's just ground up in the bottom. It's like sand. Look at that mess. Woo! While I wait for my new pickup tube, and also found out that these engines use one-time use bolts. Beyond me, that's insane. I would have never guessed. Pretty lame. But anyway, we're gonna keep chugging along here. So we had to swap our oil filter housing from the old engine. Thoroughly clean this out with brake cleaner. You do not want rod bearings and piston chunks from your blown up engine in your new engine. Brand new oil filter housing gasket. Pop the filter. Throw it in. I'll pull the valve cover now. I'm gonna do the valve cover gasket, but I am gonna switch over to the plastic one because the BMW cover you need on the plastic one, even though the metal one here is technically a better part for sure. That's for this Valvetronic motor. You actually have to do some stuff with it to get it out. So first, we're gonna do clockwise with this 4mm Allen until we feel resistance right there. That's basically backing it off of the eccentric that's in the engine. And then typically there's a bolt right here, which is missing. And now we can start to loosen the side bolts. Counterclockwise to back it off of the eccentric. There we go. Oh yes, this older style uses what looks like an older like paper gasket. That's junk. I'm kind of glad we're going to the plastic valve cover. Crazy looking engine, these modern BMW engines, man. So I'm gonna clean up the surface, get the plastic valve cover off the blown up engine, and be back. All right, we got our plastic valve cover with the new valve cover gasket in place. Now we can install. The hardware is already in place except for two, which is really weird. I don't know why they did that. And then that middle one right there. So this and this. So we'll line it up, and then we should be able to basically walk it in by twisting the Allen key here. You can see turning it clockwise, it kind of walks itself in. and then we're flush, and it's good to go. Valvetronic motor is back in. Now this right here, this was kind of interesting. So I had to retrofit this kind of breather because on that engine, it was one of those weird like plastic clip thingies. On this earlier engine, it was just a hose. So I basically combined the both. I have hose here, hose clamped around the fitting there, hose clamped around what is the stock 3/28 thing that clips into the thing from the breather or from the booster. So it's like the vacuum stuff. So this will work. So you guys know if this was a old BMW or a build of mine, you know, we would be cleaning all these parts and going above and beyond, but sorry, this is not a build. This is a fix it and be done with it. It's already more work than it was supposed to be. So, this arm off and this arm's going out. Starter's on. Everything's done on this engine, swapped over that we need. We just gotta do the oil pan once my new pickup tube comes in. Fast forward, I strategically went on vacation as I waited for my new pickup tube off eBay. Came in the mail today, right as I landed. And now we can replace our pickup tube since this was an all-wheel drive engine and we're obviously converting it to rear-wheel drive, which is a different pan, different pickup tube. You can see the shape change here. This one kind of cocks over this way. This one's a little bit more straight up. We got a new O-ring on it. I'm just grateful I was able to find one of these on eBay. 30 bucks, not a big deal. So we're gonna take off this. And now all this hardware is one-time use. I didn't realize that. So I had to also buy the bolts that I'm replacing. Had to buy them new. Pump, or the oil engine arm. You have to buy the whole damn thing. Genuine BMW, it's like 25 bucks. Time use. So these bolts are 4 Newton meters plus 90 degrees is what I can find online. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna go 90 degrees. Okay. Ooh, these like they're gonna break. Oh my God. Oh, this feels insane. This is crazy. This feels so stupid. Okay. Torque to yield bolts are done. These aluminum bolts, absolute trash. Pickup tube, done. Bed plate, bolts, done. Clean the surface, and we are ready for our oil pan gasket and our rear-wheel drive oil pan. Look at that, it fits. Wonderful. New hardware. So for the short ones, initial torque is 8 Newton meters or 6 foot-pounds. Then the subsequent angle, long ones are 180 degrees here and all the way around. Boom, 180. Here and all the way around, 180. So now on the short ones, we got 90 degrees. And that is our oil pan bolts torqued. Okay, new rear main. Let's see if we can get this to nicely slip over. Yeah, we didn't have the tool, but I got the finesse for it. And the rear main is in. Back on with the flywheel. And we are ready to begin the install. All right, moment of truth. I think I'm gonna need a ratchet to strap it up to get rid of the tilt. This is always the biggest pain on inline sixes because of the angle they sit. So you're always kind of fighting it on the install. My SD card died, which is unfortunate, but you guys didn't miss much other than hours of fighting to get this thing in. Getting the transmission lined up with the engine was a nightmare. Finally got it. I mean, it was just a nightmare. It took me probably a good couple hours. Then lining up the motor mount arm and getting everything kind of set up. And then I took the liberty of, without filming, I basically did everything underneath because most of it's really crammed and hard to film, and I just wanted to get it over with. So we got the exhaust hooked back up. We got the transmission, the torque converter hooked back up. Motor mount arm is on, motor mounts are tight, AC compressor's hooked up, water pump, thermostat, and all the stupid cooling hoses right here are hooked up. Basically, now what's left is to relay the harness. We gotta mock up the power steering pump or put it back on, hook up the coolant hoses, and then intake manifold, and we're basically done. The power steering pump in there, we don't have to worry about fluid or reconnecting hoses or anything like that. Yeah, we'll get this on. Yep, belt's on. We're going to lay the harness back in. I have not a damn clue where any of this goes. All right, let's get this big old manifold in. The boot on. We're getting there very quickly. Put the aux fan and the shroud back in. So I'm an idiot and crushed my fuel hose with the lift. So I think the guy that's local that gave me the engine has one of these. And then I broke the radiator. So now we're basically just two steps forward, 3 steps back. Just drive me crazy. In the meantime, because we're pretty much done, I gotta put the radiator back in when I get a new one and hook up the fuel line and the air box, and we're done. In the meantime, before I forget to do it and we blow up our new engine, we're going to put oil in it. So there's no dipstick on these, which is annoying. 6.9 quarts, I think. I went with 5W40 mobile for European cars. I think 530 is like the stock. People say the 40 helps. People say 0 helps. Whatever. I'm not gonna think too much about it. That stuff is so thin compared to the like 10W or 10W60 or 2050 that all the older cars I work on have. So thin. My God, it pours so fast. Air filter replacement, much needed. That thing is nasty. Overlooked this a lot, but this one definitely needed to be done. So I made the old hose work. I didn't even realize, I'm kind of dumb. So they're push locks, right? So this one obviously is the good side. The other side, I cut it off. Then you basically just have a 5/16 barb, which you could put over the line and hose clamp it. So we're obviously gonna have to monitor it, make sure it's not leaking, but should at least get this thing running today. We have everything necessary to fire it up. Obviously no radiator, but I wanna see if this thing starts. Well, I hope it starts. I wanna hear it run. So, all right, I think I may have figured it out. So I was doing some research and it's all, relating to, is the transmission in park, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't going out of park, which I thought was kind of weird. I forgot that before I pulled the engine, I disconnected the transmission connector, thinking that I was gonna have to move the trans around and I didn't want to break it. I don't know why I did that, but my guess is I don't think these cars will start if the transmission connector is unplugged. The car was all confused. So now, let's see. Now we have now we have absolutely nothing. I think the battery is flat dead on this car. Let's let this charge up for a split second and then we will try. Oh, it's weak. We got our crank, yes. But we're not starting yet. Let's see. Either it just needs to build fuel pressure or we have some wires mixed up, which I wouldn't be too astonished if that was the case. All right, well. Okay, last night was one of those nights where you're up all night because you don't know why your fresh engine swap isn't starting. So I went around, did a lot of stuff. I checked for spark, found out that we don't have spark. So I'm actually gonna put this back in right now. Kind of at a loss. I thought, okay, maybe it's the dead battery. Charged the battery, didn't work. Put a new battery in, still didn't work. Then I realized we had no spark. And then I was researching, and I think I may have found the problem. I also forgot that I have INPA, and I forgot that this is a modern car that I could have used INPA, but I brought the computer if I need it. But I'm looking over here at my ports, right? This is the positive battery terminal. This is the positive. This red is the positive. And then I'm looking at some pictures of other people's cars, and I have 2 wires hooked up to this positive. I'm pretty sure this big black wire is actually a ground, and it's labeled black as a ground. So I think I'm an idiot and hooked up the ECU box ground onto the power. And I think that would explain why when I had this car hooked up to the battery, it was throwing a million different codes. It was like the fuel pump kept kicking on, off. I think I've been shorting it. I'm pretty sure only this red goes here. So yeah, I think I have a pretty good feeling that this is the problem. This ground, I believe, goes where the ground off of the engine goes, which is the ground point right here. And hopefully we didn't fry anything. And hopefully we will have a car that starts. Fingers crossed. I'm fairly confident in my troubleshooting, but if this isn't the problem, I will be at a loss with this car. Let's see. That was it. Freaking ground on the positive. And I don't have any codes anymore. Yes! And she runs good. Oh yeah, baby. Look at this happy little N52. You can see there's a ton of smoke coming out of the exhaust. That's likely because of the oil that was blown all in the exhaust. And I can't run it too long. We don't have a cooling system. Oh, oil already checked itself. It's at max. Oh, I'm so happy right now. This thing's running beautifully. Yes! We have an E90 again. I got my ISTA hooked up just to check out, make sure everything's good. No check engine lights, no fault codes other than gearbox oil wear, which is, that's insane. I don't even know how it knows that. I guess that means it wants a gearbox flush. And then a AUC sensor, which I have no idea what that is, but I don't think it relates to anything with the car. Yeah, no fault code description. So, nothing worrisome right there. She is running great. And it sounds good. No little knocking noise. Now I know what a good N52 is supposed to sound like. So I'm thrilled. Next time you see me, well, we're gonna put in all the cowl plastics and tidy up the bay, and then we'll be ready for the radiator. So I forgot my SD card. Like I said, we got the cooling system in, bled. Actually got in a test drive. I took it home. Flawless, not a single problem. She's running smooth, running quiet. I got the top down. I have to say, I kind of enjoyed my first drive. So my mom is gonna be home here in a second. I washed it, cleaned it up, not the inside, that's gonna need a little bit more work. The tan is way dirty, but yeah, I want to make it look half decent, and I'm gonna surprise her with it.
Oh my god!
You wanna take it for a ride?
Oh my god, yes I do! Oh my god, it's beautiful!
It's not that beautiful,
oh
but
god.
yeah, well, it was a pain in the ass, so it was a lot of work getting this thing running, so I'm glad she's excited about it. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I got my hair up, I'm ready to go. Got my bun going.
And then I'll just have to show you how to use the top.
Yeah.
You gotta be stopped.
Okay, so it's, yeah.
And then otherwise, I don't think there's anything else that's really important.
It handles nice. I mean, the steering and everything. Like I said, I'm just gonna take it around here. This thing will probably never see 50 miles an hour with me. You know, as long as I'm just going to Jewel, but yeah, these need to be.
Well, I already got it up to 100, so it's good.
That's why I think it's cute. Like some of them look so old-fashioned, and this.
No, I like the old-fashioned ones.
No, I know, but I mean, like the old-fashioned convertibles are always like so. This one.
Well, this is nice because when the top's up, it's a hard top, so it looks like a coupe.
That's
it's not like a black rag top, which kind of sucks.
That's exactly. That's
and they
why
rip
I love
and
it.
they all get messed up.
Yep, that's why I said. That's why I love this. It's the hard top on it. I'm like, oh my god, I love it.
There we have it.
We have it. We have it.
She loves it until it's sold.
It's not selling. It's not going on the market.
It might sell.
Until it gets below 40 again.
Well, no one's gonna buy it then.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Only took me, you know, a couple grand and well, a few grand and like 40 hours of annoying hard labor. And she has a convertible, so that's the easy way to get your mom a BMW convertible. Wasn't very easy, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our first dive into a modern BMW. Pretty insane. Wasn't too bad, I gotta say. A little annoying, but it wasn't really the modernness of it that was annoying. It was kind of unrelated, just transmission on engine and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.